what you do is you go to the business menu, you select invoices, and then you come to the section where you would invoice your clients. Now, if you've already set up a contact, and we'll go through how to set up a contact in a later session, then you should be able to create an invoice. So there's a number of tips that we can show you. First thing is, if you wanted to create a invoice from scratch, what you can do is you can enter a specific contact that you have. Make sure you enter the date. You can then enter the due date. Now, if you have set up the due dates as default in the contacts, this would come up automatically. Otherwise, you need to put in the date itself. The invoice number is pre-populated. However, you can change the sequence of this to however you want. You can then put a reference. So I'm going to put, for example, consulting, if I can spell, consulting fees. Your branding, so if you have lots of different types of branding of how you want to select your invoice, you can do that here. So here we've set up a special projects type branding. Item is if you're using the inventory. So in this session we won't go through that. We'll just do the description. So I'm going to put consulting fees for, say, April. Quantities 1, unit price, let's say 1,000. Here you can put a discount if you want. So I'm going to put, let's say, 10% discount. And then this is the account code that you want to code your invoice to. Now, your client won't see this. This is only for you. Here you've got your tax rate, and then this is where you'd put in tracking information if you wanted to. So let's say, for example, I am invoicing a customer in the north side of, I don't know, the city, for example, and I wanted to track that. I'll select north. So let's just select north for now. You can also attach documents here. So let's say if you had a PO, you can attach it here. You can obviously add more lines if you wanted to. And then there's a number of things you can do. If I select save, this invoice is in draft. If I wanted to retrieve that invoice, I click on there. And what I can do is I can submit for approval. So what this would mean is it's not yet approved where it's on your P&L, recognized as revenue in your P&L, and you've got your AR, but it's in this section called awaiting approval. What this means is maybe you may have someone else in the organization who approves invoices and one person who inputs. Let's say I go into this invoice and I can see all of the details. Let's say, okay, I'm going to approve this invoice, but there's one thing I'm not happy about. I want them to put the year, for example. So I'm going to change that there. And then I'm going to select approve. Once I've done that, the invoice is ready to go to the client. Now, a few more things I would just want to mention. All the history of the information that's been entered and edited is here. You can also add notes and expected payment dates. Now, notes is for, please. You can put notes for your staff. This is not seen by the client. So you could put please do not email, for example. I'll put my name. You can also put expected date. What that means is if you run a report and you've got your outstanding receivables, if you wanted to know what your outstanding receivables and expected dates are, you can do that as well. You can also preview your invoice. Here's my invoice in preview. This is how it looked like on the desktop. This is how it looked like on the phone. I can print my invoice. So I'm going to mark it as sent. This converts it to a PDF, and then you can print, or you can email it and attach it to an email, or you can email directly from Xero to your client. And then you can also add a payment as well. So once you've sent your invoice, if you've received any payment for it there and then, or if you received any cash payments here, you would add that. Thank you very much.